A few months ago, when entropy was introduced as this year's TEDx theme, I began to use it as a lens to examine my own life. What I discovered surprised me. Even in the messiest moments, there's a hidden order, a structure waiting to be discovered. And as I dug deeper, I realized this wasn't just a scientific concept. It was a way of thinking that could transform how we live. Just like a big, beautiful tree, growth starts with tiny seeds, small, intentional habits. Today, I'll show you how to plant them, nurture them, and watch them grow, even in life's wildest storms. Now, as many of the students in the audience can relate to, juggling our schoolwork, activities, athletics, and social lives can get very overwhelming and confusing at times, and our lives can sometimes feel like a balancing act on a tightrope. As we bustle through our packed daily schedules, we'll find our bedrooms getting messier and our sleep times getting shorter. It's like watching the tidy orderliness of our lives slowly unravel. But it's not just our physical spaces that feel affected. Our mental health takes a hit as well. The stress, the pressure, and the worries can leave us feeling drained and even lost. Entropy is contagious. Once chaos creeps in, it's easy for us to fall into habits that enhance it. Procrastination, disorganization, or ignoring self-care. But why is entropy so magnetic? Because chaos feeds on itself. It creates a sense of losing control, and in that moment, giving in feels easier than fighting back. This can often lead to stress, panic, and fear, things that we can all agree on are not fun. Last year, I learned this the hard way. I said yes to everything, friends, family, homework, clubs, thinking I could do it all, until I was canceling plans, forgetting birthdays, and drowning in guilt. The harder I tried to fix entropy, the worse it got. But what if I told you there is a very simple yet effective way to not just break that cycle, but to accept and embrace entropy and find a sense of order within the chaos of your lives? You might be a little confused by my use of the word embrace. After all, shouldn't we work to get rid of chaos instead of accepting it? For as long as I can remember, I thought that as well. But just as you can't stop a storm by yelling at the clouds, fighting against entropy isn't always the answer. Instead, accepting it by acknowledging that chaos is a natural and even necessary part of life is the first step to coping with it. And here's the truth. Scientists have discovered that aside from when we are babies, our brains undergo the most significant growth and adaptation during our adolescent years, since this growth is essential for us to become adults. Our brains don't fear the new or unexpected, and we actually find many challenges and firsts thrilling because of the uncertainty they bring. In fact, our brains are wired to embrace uncertainty, and they're okay with change. This natural adaptability within us shows that chaos isn't something to resist, but to work with. By embracing entropy, we gradually transform its challenges into opportunities that positively shape our future. We must learn to accept entropy as a part of life, even when it can get frustrating having it around. We must learn to work around and with entropy, to use it as a means to help improve our lives. Going to a messy room after a long day of school, cramming some homework in, and scrolling on your phone until way past midnight, and getting only a few short hours of sleep before having to wake up again, go to school unmotivated and tired, and repeat that process day after day is a cycle many of us know. But habits are ingrained into our brains. They're basically automatic, like a path we follow without even thinking. Breaking free of this path requires a complete rewiring of how we approach our daily lives. But here's why entropy can work in our favor. By understanding chaos's nature and effects, we can disrupt this cycle. Chaos forces us to confront discomfort, creating opportunities for change. So rather than falling into the lure of chaos, we can learn to harness it and benefit from it by building small habits that we can adopt into our lives. Humbling ourselves is the first step toward this transformation. Recognizing that no one can live a chaos-free life or achieve overnight change is essential. Accepting life's inevitable disorder allows us to grow and adapt. And though sometimes frustrating, embracing humility helps us to persist in practicing the habits that I'll discuss. My strategy of coping with chaos is a simple one. Instead of being overwhelmed with tackling all the chaos in your life at once, let's break that chaos down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Start by asking yourself a question based on one key area of your life that seems to be especially chaotic, such as, what is the main reason I go to school unmotivated and tired? Now try and answer that. For my question, it's probably because of my lack of sleep. That is going to be the specific area in my life that I will focus on improving right now. Because all of my focus is on this one area, I'm more likely to succeed in improving it. With my area of focus identified, I'll set a realistic goal to help me improve in that specific area. With my example, I might decide that I will go to bed 10 minutes earlier every night until I reach a bedtime of 9:30 p.m., which is the time I will from then on consistently go to bed at. Notice how in my example, I listed daily changes and actions toward my goal. 10 minutes isn't a lot of time, but over time, there will be significant change. Soon, I'd wake up more refreshed, go to school energized, and perform better academically. Each small habit you build is like a seed, growing and growing into a big tree. All of this may sound very easy and simple to do and applicable in your life. However, as much as I wish it could, habits don't become habits overnight, or even over several days or months. They take time. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, notes that, on average, it takes more than 2 months before a new behavior becomes automatic. 66 days to be exact. How long it takes a new habit to form can vary widely depending on the behavior, the person, and the circumstances. However, later on, he mentioned that it could take up to 254 days before that same habit becomes a lifestyle change. 254 days? 254 days of repeating the same action over and over again without seeing any progress or major changes in your life? It's easy to wonder if it's worth it. But progress is more important than the product. It is the persistence, the effort you put into something you want to achieve. It is you showing up for yourself day after day, even when giving up feels like the easiest option. It's about maintaining that belief in yourself. And in the end, your hard work will show, and you'll be surprised by how far you've come. You want to fall in love with the process of repeating these tiny habits, not the desired product. Those tiny choices are like a snowball rolling downhill, growing without you even realizing it. And before you know it, they're already reshaping your life, not by eliminating chaos, but by helping you thrive within it. So, if you are going to take anything away from my talk, let it be start now. Continuing the same chaotic patterns won't help you in the long run, but taking a breath and just taking one small step forward is all you need right now. As you build these small habits, remember that it is not just about reaching a goal or desired outcome, but embracing the journey itself. In a world of chaos and uncertainty, every small step is a victory. Over time, these small victories compound, and one day, you'll look back and see how far you've come. What started as a 10-minute change in bedtime has grown into a more fulfilling and purposeful life. And yes, entropy, chaos, stress, and disorder can all feel overwhelming at first. But chaos isn't an enemy. It's a part of life, and learning to cope with it is how we grow. Living without some chaos isn't really living at all. And it's in the messiness of it that we find opportunities to create order. Building small but strong habits is the most effective way that I found that helps restore order back into your life. And though it may seem repetitive, it it is through these simple yet powerful habits that you continue to do that shape your reality, one choice at a time. Thank you.